You know that extra bit of weight around your middle? Well, it's not just about how your clothes fit. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you what it really is a pretty serious health threat. We're about to expose the biological assassins that are hiding in plain sight.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? We're not talking about vanity here. We are talking about a literal breeding ground for biological assassins. And trust me, that's not just some clever metaphor. It's what's actually happening inside your body. All right, so let's dig right into this hidden danger. That expanding waistline, it's way more than a sign that you might need to buy new pants. You should think of it as a distress signal, a warning from your body that there's a saboteur at work. And here is the identity of that saboteur: visceral fat. Now, this is what you really need to get. This stuff isn't just passive, stored energy. No, it's an active endocrine gland. It's like a rogue factory inside you, constantly pumping out inflammatory chemicals that threaten your entire system. Okay, so how exactly does this saboteur wage war on your body? Well, let's meet the first group of its agents. We're calling them the systemic assassins, because these are the ones that launch a full-body assault. First up, assassin number one: chronic inflammation. This is the real mastermind behind so much of the damage. Remember that visceral fat we just talked about? Well, it's constantly leaking these inflammatory molecules, called cytokines, directly into your bloodstream. It's like your body's internal alarm system is stuck on 24/7, causing damage around the clock. And this just lays out the destructive chain reaction perfectly. First, the fat tissue lets loose these cytokines. Then, they go and wreak havoc on your metabolism. And the final punch? They cause direct damage to the delicate lining of your blood vessels, everywhere. It is a slow, silent attack that undermines your whole circulatory system. Now, all that widespread damage, it leads us straight to our next assassin: atherosclerosis. You've probably heard of this one. It's just a fancy term for the hardening of the arteries, and it's the physical proof of the damage being done by all that constant inflammation. So, what's its game plan? First, plaque starts to build up, making your arteries stiff and narrow. This, in turn, forces your heart to pump way, way harder. Over time, that extra work weakens its main pumping chamber, the left ventricle. And what happens with a weaker heart? Well, less oxygen-rich blood makes it to your brain. Okay, now for an assassin that might actually surprise you. Number 3 is something called anemia of inflammation. I know, right? Most of us would never think to connect belly fat with anemia, but the link is direct, and it's pretty fascinating. This process literally attacks your body's ability to make healthy red blood cells. Let's break this down. That non-stop inflammation sends a signal to your liver, telling it to pump out way too much of a hormone called hepcidin. Now, you can think of hepcidin as this overzealous bouncer at a club that blocks iron from getting into your system where it's needed. And without enough iron, you just can't make healthy red blood cells. The result is this really unique and draining type of anemia. But wait, the damage doesn't stop there. Not by a long shot. Next, we have to meet the metabolic saboteur, an assassin whose entire goal is to derail your body's energy management system. And that brings us to assassin number 4, fatty liver disease. See, when all that excess visceral fat starts to infiltrate your liver, that organ basically becomes the central command post for total metabolic chaos. This isn't just a side effect, it's a core part of the whole problem. And you can see the devastating domino effect right here. First, the liver becomes fatty. The technical term is steatosis. This one single event throws your entire metabolic system into a tailspin. And from there, it's a very short and direct path to developing 2 other major chronic killers: type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. You know, not all of these assassins are silent killers. Some of them make their presence known every single day. So now we're going to look at the daily nuisances. These are health problems that, while still incredibly serious, show up in ways that actively mess up your day-to-day life. So let's look at this trio of troublemakers. Assassin number 5 is constipation. The physical mass of that visceral fat literally cranks up the pressure in your abdomen. Then we've got number 6, urinary issues, or LUTS. That same high pressure, when you combine it with metabolic syndrome, can lead to all sorts of problems, like having to get up to pee all night or a weak stream. And finally, there's the truly dangerous assassin number 7, sleep apnea. This is where fat deposits around your neck actually narrow your airway while you sleep. It's not just loud snoring, it means you literally stop breathing, starving your body of oxygen and dramatically increasing the risk of sudden death. So after hearing about this whole rogues gallery of threats, you're probably asking yourself, how do I know if I'm in danger? Well, that brings us to our final and maybe most practical section. And the good news is there's a really simple tool you can use to check right at home. For men, this is the number you need to know. A waist measurement of 90 centimeters. That's about 35.5 inches or more is a serious warning sign. If your tape measure's hitting that number, it's a very strong sign that these assassins are active in your body. And for women, the number to watch is 80 centimeters, or roughly 31.5 inches. Again, if you're at or above this number, it's not just a number. It is a critical signal that your body is trying to send you. So here's the bottom line, the absolute most important thing to take away from all of this. We have to completely change how we think about this measurement. The number on the tape measure has nothing to do with vanity. This is so much more than a cosmetic issue. It is a critical warning signal of active biological threats inside you. But look, after all that pretty serious news, I want to end on a genuinely hopeful and actionable note. This is not a hopeless situation at all. In fact, research clearly shows that a pretty modest weight loss of just 5 to 10% can significantly slow down, and in many cases, even reverse these dangerous risks. That is a totally achievable goal with a massive, massive health payoff. And so I'll just leave you with this simple but really important question to think about. After everything we've uncovered today, what is your waistline trying to tell you?